The office party was alive with energy. The ballroom glittered under chandeliers, music vibrating through the walls, laughter bouncing around like electricity. Employees mingled, clinking glasses, circling each other like predators in formal wear. My wife, Lauren, was the center of attention, moving with effortless grace, laughing at jokes that weren't meant for me. I arrived wearing my usual composed smile, the one I always put on for these events. But tonight felt different. Something inside me had shifted. I watched as she approached her boss, a man oozing charm, accustomed to getting what he wanted. Their conversation was intimate, familiar in a way that went far beyond professional boundaries. She leaned in, laughed at his words, and before I could fully process it, she allowed herself to be led onto the dance floor. Each step they took felt deliberate, a public display of closeness I once assumed was reserved for me alone. I stayed where I was, calm but attentive, letting the tension simmer. I'd noticed the signs for months: extra texts, late nights, mysterious lunches. She'd learned to smile while keeping secrets, joke while hiding tiny flutters of flirtation. The surge of betrayal hit me, but I didn't panic. I had waited, planned, and now the moment was ready. Then it happened. Across the room, her colleague Emma, always poised and confident, caught my eye. She smiled softly, a knowing, subtle smile that promised opportunity, and leaned closer. "If you're free, take me instead," she whispered, her tone teasing but precise. It was a quiet challenge, a mirror to the chaos Lauren had orchestrated on the dance floor. Lauren turned sharply, her face flashing disbelief, panic, and shock. She hadn't expected this. The attention she'd taken for granted, the playful dominance over the room, was being reflected back at her. Her eyes widened as she calculated, trying to reclaim control that was already slipping. I accepted without hesitation. Taking Emma's hand, I stepped onto the floor with calm confidence, instantly shifting the room's energy. Heads turned. Whispers began. Lauren's laughter faltered. The music went on, but the dynamic had changed. She was no longer the center of attention, I was. And the control she assumed she had over perception was crumbling. Colleagues exchanged glances, some curious, some shocked. The chemistry between me and Emma drew attention without a word, without a single overt motion. Lauren's boss tried to keep up, to maintain her attention, but the spell was broken. The room now gravitated toward Emma and me. Lauren's smirk became forced, her laughter brittle. I led Emma through a simple, elegant dance, precise and measured. Every step, every turn, radiated control and confidence. Guests who had admired Lauren's charm now watched as her carefully crafted image subtly unraveled. The influence she once held over perception diminished with each passing second. She had wanted freedom, validation, and a thrill, but she hadn't expected a mirror of consequence. Her attempts to reclaim attention failed spectacularly. She smiled, leaned in, whispered jokes to her boss, but the room had already shifted allegiance. The power of presence is subtle, yet undeniable. Control over perception is everything. Lauren's carefully curated image cracked, and for the first time, she realized charm alone couldn't dictate the narrative. I didn't mock her. I didn't shout. I simply remained present, calm, and deliberate, letting reality unfold. Emma's poise, her quiet confidence, and my deliberate attention spoke louder than any words. The balance of power had shifted, and Lauren could only watch. Her panic was quiet, contained, but unmistakable, a visible acknowledgement that she had lost the game she thought she was winning. By the end of the dance, whispers and sidelong glances confirmed it. She was no longer in control. She had sought attention, validation, a thrill. But tonight, she learned every action has a reaction. I stepped off the floor with Emma, leaving Lauren at the center of her own fractured spotlight. The room adjusted. Whispers filled the air. Attention had moved elsewhere. And that night, Lauren learned a hard lesson. The world doesn't revolve around charm, flirtation, or perceived freedom. Reality, timing, and presence always have the final say.